That was easy.
I want us to be together, okay? Sharing the same box. So I'm going to tell you how to shift parallel realities and how to make quantum leaps in consciousness and how to shift into the reality that you want to create. Hey guys, it's Jasmine, and this is Instant Manifestation Made Easy. I know we used to be all about manifesting a specific person, and we're still very much about manifesting a specific person, but you can also use my teachings to manifest anything else that you want. In this video, I'm going to talk about the difference between manipulation and manifesting, because a lot of people seem to think that manifesting a specific person is manipulation. So I'm going to explain to you why it's not manipulation and what manipulation is and what manifesting is versus what manifesting is not. So is manifesting a specific person morally or ethically wrong? Is it trying to force the universe to give you what you want or trying to force them to give you what you want? Is it wrong? No, you cannot impede on anyone else's freedom. I'm going to explain this to you fully, and you are going to fully understand this concept by the end of this video. So make sure that you watch until the end of the video so that you get all of the information, all of the content, and all my cool tips at the end. Every possibility that could exist does exist. Every potential reality that you can conceive of or fathom or think of exists. Every potential parallel version of yourself exists. Every potential parallel version of everybody else exists. It all exists. We just don't see all of these parallel realities intersecting, but we are experiencing in every single moment a new and different parallel reality. Okay, so every moment is a snapshot, a parallel reality unto itself, and each snapshot parallel reality has no connection to any other parallel reality. It has to be this way because parallel realities are the reason that everything is possible and anything is possible. And they're the reason that you can manifest anything instantaneously. They're the reason why it doesn't have to take any time. When it comes to specific people, the way that the person shows up in front of you in any point in time is simply a parallel version of them that you're manifesting. What normally happens with people is that they will end up finding themselves confronted with a parallel version of this person that they don't like. So let's say that I've got a fashionista Ken Barbie doll. That's my specific person. So he's showing up and he's just a regular guy. But what I want is I want the wedding version Barbie doll, okay? I want my person to want to marry me. I want my person to ask me to marry him. I want for it to be his idea. I want for him to want it because I want my fairy tale dream. I want us to be together, okay? Sharing the same box. So here is what manipulation is. Manipulation is when you get the version of the person that is in front of you, and what you do is you try to change this person. Okay, so you're still occupying in your mind the idea of them showing up like this, and you're trying to figure out how to change that. Well, maybe if I think differently, and if I do positive affirmations, and I'm going to explain the whole thing, okay? So maybe if I do all the techniques, and maybe if I do them perfectly, maybe he will change, and maybe he will want to be with me in the way that I want to be with him. Maybe he will want to be this person, okay? But here is how I explain it. Each parallel reality is like a room. So I'm in the room with this version of my person. And from that room, I'm trying to struggle with him and wrestle with him and trying to do whatever it is that I can figure out how to do to get him to be the other person that I want. But this version of him exists in a completely different room, in a completely different parallel reality. There's absolutely no way that I can get to this version from the room that I'm currently in, because the room that I'm currently in has this version. Usually when it comes to manifesting a specific person, people are trying to utilize law of attraction and manifestation techniques in order to manipulate a situation that they think is already there. So they think that the person is already there and that that person has decided that they don't want to be with them in the way that they want them to be with them. And they've decided that that person needs to change. This is the wrong thinking. You're not trying to change anything. The second that you think that you're trying to change something, that's manipulation. You don't change anything. It's a whole new and different parallel reality that you're trying to create. Okay, you're trying to come into that parallel reality. There's no change. There's nothing. If you manifest a reality, you don't change that reality. You manifest an entirely new and different reality. So I'm going to tell you how to shift parallel realities and how to make quantum leaps in consciousness and how to shift into the reality that you want to create. Here's how you do it. So if I want to manifest this version and what I have is this version, what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely, even though this is the version that's in front of me, this is the version I'm talking to, he's in front of me, in my consciousness, I'm not going to acknowledge or see or interact with this. So what does that mean? That means even though you look like you're doing this on the outside, you've manifested in this way. In my mind, in my consciousness is completely 100% occupied with you being this person. There's absolutely no notion of any other version. I only see you the way that I prefer to see you. I'm completely immersing my consciousness in this version of you that I prefer. I'm not even remembering the other version. I'm not entertaining the other version. I'm not thinking anything oppositional. There's no other thought. I'm only occupying my mind completely and entirely with this version. So it's like you're in the room with the version that you realize is not the ideal version. So imagine that you're in the room and these are the circumstances in that room, in that parallel reality room. Okay? In that room, those circumstances exist. Instead of wrestling within that parallel reality within that room, instead of wrestling with it, release it, let it go, leave the room, and then you enter a different parallel reality room. You enter the room of your choosing, where the circumstances and events and the people in the way that you want them to show up, you enter the room where they already are, where they already exist, and where it's already happening exactly the way that you want it to be. So in your consciousness, you're entering this different room with different circumstances and different versions of people. You completely leave the other behind. You're not arguing with it. You're not wrestling with it. You're not thinking about it. You're not wondering about it. You're not wondering if they're going to change. That's being in the other room. So what a lot of people do is they're like, is he going to change? 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 You're in the wrong room. You're in the wrong parallel reality. You're sitting there in front of this guy and you're saying, is he going to change? Is he going to change? Is he going to change? But this is what you're thinking about. This version is what you're thinking about. You're not thinking about the version that you want. You're thinking about opposition. You're thinking contradictory thoughts. This is where the technique of fantasizing and entertainment comes in. Is you're entertaining the idea of the end or the wish fulfilled. So what does that look like? What does that feel like? What would that reality experience be like? So I can imagine if I am that person and I'm with the person that I want to be with, and we're already having these circumstances that we want to create together. I can see myself in that room, in that parallel reality, having those interactions and those circumstances with him. If I was living in the end in my waking daily life, I would not be asking the question, is he going to change? Or is it going to happen? Or when is it going to happen? If I'm already in this room with this person, I'm not asking, where are you? And how long is it going to take for you to change? That doesn't make any sense. A lot of people think that they're living in the end because they're thinking about it sometimes and they're trying to create expectation and anticipation, but really you're not, and that's what your doubt tells you. And then you start thinking about, how is he going to do it? Or, is he going to do it? Or when is he going to do it? Or blah. All these thoughts that are completely irrelevant if you're actually occupying your mind with the correct parallel reality that is your end. Now, I made a video where I said that you can create all the details, but that takes a second. Once you create the details, you can just completely and fully just keep living in the end because you already know that it's done. And so any other thought that has anything to do with any story, anything that is not completely what you would be thinking if you were already in the end, is completely irrelevant, and you are not doing the process correctly. You are not living in the end. You are not occupying your mind with that reality. You have to fully immerse your mind with a reality in order for it to manifest. Manipulation is when you're trying to change the person, even if it's by means of manifestation techniques. You're still like, I hope that they'll change. I wonder if they will change. I know I can get him to change. You think that you're changing someone. You're not changing anyone. You're just tuning into a completely different version of them. And I think that simplifies all of this so much. So there's nothing to change. That means that there's no circumstance that you need to worry about. There's literally no circumstance. You're just going to pop into a completely different reality where the circumstances are completely different. If they told you they don't want to be with you, that circumstance is just going to completely change. When you turn into the new reality, they're going to be like, I changed my mind and I want to be with you now. And all that stuff I said before, well, I don't even mean any of that. I just know that I just want to be with you. Now, here's the thing, is the time that it takes to manifest. A lot of people are under this misconception that there is this thing called time lag. There is no such thing as time lag. Every single parallel reality manifestation is completely instant replica of your consciousness. Here's where the time comes in as far as that goes. So when you first walk into a parallel reality, you might remember the last parallel reality that you were in. So when you're first walking into, let's say, a room, you might remember the last room that you were in. But as you keep moving into that parallel reality deeper and deeper, and as you keep going deeper and deeper into that room, pretty soon you can't find the door and you don't even remember where you came from. You just know where you are. It's like, imagine if you're in a pool, and at one end of the pool is water, and at the other end of the pool is Kool-Aid. And you are on the water side, and you want to get to the Kool-Aid side. As you're making your way, there's going to be a little bit you're going to be in between for a little bit, but eventually you get to the Kool-Aid side, and then you can't even see the water anymore. You're all Kool-Aid. It doesn't have to be that way. You can completely create a belief or a permission slip that allows you to quantum leap realities and not have any time in between. You can create that. These things happen. They happen all the time. There's no reason why you have to create time in your consciousness. And when you know that reality works this way and that there are no limitations, you can start to manifest much more instantaneously in your life. And your manifestations will be instant. You just have to know that it's possible. And there's still people asking me if this is instant manifestation is a gimmick. And it's like, we really need education on this because it's not a gimmick at all. We do live in the realm of infinite possibilities. And if you're studying law of attraction and manifesting, you've heard this before, that anything is possible. I know that there are people that teach limitations, but they teach through the eyes of their own perspective. And so if they have limitations, that's going to come out in the teaching. Press the like button and let YouTube know that this was an awesome video. Please subscribe and share with your friends. If you enjoy my content, if you enjoy me, if you would like to be part of my communities on Facebook, I have all the links for that below. I do have coaching available. I have the links for that below as well. And if you would like to receive my online magazine, you can sign up for that in the description below. Here's my playlist on how to manifest a specific person. Here's my playlist on instant manifestation. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
That was easy.